Alrighty, what is going on, everyone? We had a crazy night of fights last night, not only with UFC, but also with boxing. And if you watch WWE, crazy night of WWE as well. But we're here to focus on the UFC fight night. Um, let's start on with the bottom of the card, of course, as we do in our prediction videos. Starting with Charles Johnson versus Ramzan Tamirov. Charles Johnson didn't get enough done, unfortunately. Round two should have been the round that he really turned it up a little bit. He kind of spent too much time backing up from Ramzan Tamirov. Ramzan Tamirov, even though he wasn't landing like really devastating shots, they still count to the judges if they're loud, even if they make a loud popping sound off the shoulder or arms, anything like that. Or even if he's rolling with it and it still makes a loud sound, they're gonna count it, man. They're gonna count it. I know Charles Johnson was saying that he didn't think that he really Tamirov really landed anything, and I agree because I think Charles Johnson was doing a great job, kind of evading, dipping, and rolling with punches. But the judges don't see it that way. When a punch lands and it makes a loud sound, they're gonna note that as a significant strike, even if the other guy doesn't feel much significant strike from it. So, yeah, Ramzan Tamirov gets it done by unanimous decision. Good for him. Next, moving up, Andrea Lee versus JJ Aldrich. Now, what was funny while this fight was happening is I had a viewer tell me that Andrea Lee was married to a dude who had a Nazi tattoo tattooed onto his neck. So that was a bit of funny information that happened while I was while I was commentating the fights. JJ Aldrich gets it done like I predicted by decision. Honestly, pretty crazy that we have both of these two in the UFC, 13 and 10. This is definitely Andrea Lee's last fight. 13 and 11 now. Come on, get her out of here. That was definitely her last fight. Anyways, moving up, Danny Silva versus Lucas Almeida. Now, Danny Silva got it done. I expected a round 1 KO, or round 2 TKO. And to be honest, he was every moment looking for a finishing exchange. Lucas Almeida was just doing a really good job of being evasive and also doing the same thing of rolling off punches and doing his thing. But yeah, he made it. He made a pretty even fight. Lucas Almeida. It was very close for Danny Silva, but he still got the decision regardless. So that makes me a positive record. Ugh, which I'm happy about. Sorry about that. Next, moving up, got Chepe Mariscal versus Ricardo Ramos. Chepe Mariscal ended up getting the win. Now I gotta be honest. This is when I started to fall asleep. Okay, because as you can see here, we had decision, decision, decision. We had four decisions in a row, and it was like I got a workout in. Okay, the morning beforehand, I was starting to get really tired. All right. And then if I did post a clip of me getting woken up. I don't know why that audio is in there. I didn't mean to put that audio in there. TikTok automatically puts like music in even if you don't select on music, so it's kind of like a weird song, but the reaction is still funny. So I'm leaving it up. I'm not deleting it and re-editing it. It's still a funny clip. But on my way from Ricardo Ramos to Mario Pinto and Austin Lane, I was asleep between the last rounds. I knew Chepe Mariscal was already winning. Like, he was definitely ahead. So I was like, I'm just going to rest my eyes for a moment. Like, I know Chepe Mariscal was going to win. And he does get the decision. I had him by round 2 or round 3 KO or TKO, but he gets the decision. And then for the first round of Austin Lane versus Mario Pinto, I am dead asleep. I am leaning back in my chair. I might as well be snoring. Um, Luckily, my friend comes in and he wakes me up, and I tune in for the second round. Perfect timing. In 39 seconds of round two, Mario Pinto gets the TKO slash gets the KO. Not TKO. He gets the KO. The guy was like stiffened out sleep. But I was right, man. Austin Lane freaking sucks, bro. He's no chin. No chin. I apparently he dropped Mario Pinto in the first round, which I didn't catch because I was sleeping because I was like, man, this could be a rest of a boring fight. But luckily, my friend woke me up beforehand. So yeah, I didn't get to miss that. But yeah, Mario Pinto gets the KO. So far makes me pretty positive in my picking so far. But next we move up to Danny Barlow and Sam Patterson for the beginning of the main event. Man, I had Danny Barlow by round one or round two KO or TKO. The way Sam Patterson got knocked out by this one dude is just something you gotta see. I highly recommend looking to Sam Patterson's. I forget who's the guy's name. Let me Ashmov. Look at his fight against Ashmov. Okay, if you watch that fight against Ashmov, you really question if he can even take like a couple strong punches because the way he was knocked out and then fighting the ref afterwards was absolutely crazy. But hey, he's the one that did the knocking out against Danny Barlow. Got it done in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It shows here. Um, so yeah, really great for him. Good for Sam Patterson. Welterweight bout, so he's not fighting at lightweight anymore. I think he's gonna do a lot better at welterweight than lightweight. Maybe that's why he couldn't take punches. Next, another one I unfortunately lost is two more another split decision. We had a lot of split decisions on this card. Um, but Hyder Emil, yeah, he kept insane octagon pressure, just was constantly circling down William Gomez. Even though William Gomez was landing really great strikes on Hyder Emil, Hyder Emil just kept coming forward. Like he had no other direction than just to come forward for William Gomez. So that's I think what ended up winning him the decision. Honestly, is just the octagon control. Because if we're going off damage and amount of strikes, I think William Gomez would take it. But yeah, the pursuit for William Gomez by Hyder and Bill, I think, is what won him the fight. Octagon control, just constantly, you know, walking forward, throwing punches, body punches, even if they weren't landing, you just constantly throwing. So got William Gomez. Fortunately, didn't get it. Next, moving up, Nasrat Esteban Hasrat versus Esteban Ribovics. This was super, super close. I think Rubovic should have taken this because I think he ended up getting the second and third round, in my opinion. But it was still really, really close. Nasrat Hasrat was throwing heat like I've never seen him throw before. Really bloodied up Esteban Ribovic's nose and mouth. Just doing a really good job landing some really good clean counters. But Esteban Ribovic was doubling up on a jab and a 1-2, just constantly keeping pressure on him. He was nonstop throwing as well. They just had a lot of scrappy moments in the fight. It was really close. Still think it should have gone to Esteban Ribovic though, just based off the amount of strikes that he threw and landed. Compared to Nasrat Hasrat. And he landed a brutal knee against Nasrat Hasrat in the third round, which I think should have counted more than what his takedown was on Esteban Ribovic was. So yeah, Esteban Ribovic loses, unfortunately. That makes it made me a little bit sad, unfortunately, but we're still keeping the positive record, mind you. Next, in our co-main, actually turned out to be a good co-main. So I take back what I said about Cody Brundage and Julian Marquez. Both are still crappy, though, if I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, Cody Brundage didn't look terrible, but also it's like, you can't be having this much struggling against Julian Marquez. I'm sorry. Julian Marquez sucks. He really does. They need to get him out of the UFC. He's 9-6 now. Looking for PFL, GFL, or BKFC would be great for Julian Marquez, honestly, because he throws crazy wild shots and oh god, bad heartburn. I'm sorry. Those shots against Cody Brundage are actually doing really good damage against him, almost to the point where he really had him on skates for a moment, but out of divine intervention, both of their mouthpieces fall out. You know, a punch lands by Cody Brundage. Boom, they stop the action. Ref steps in, puts both back their mouthpieces in. Julian Marquez had a little bit of momentum, if I'm going to be completely honest. And that was one of those cases where I know nobody wants to see, you know, teeth getting knocked out and people, you know, getting lacerations on their, you know, mouth or whatever because of the no gum shield or whatever. But I think they gotta let the momentum keep going. It was close to the end of the round. They should have let him get a couple more exchanges in. if it was a moment where they were both backed away after the exchange and like both taking a moment to assess themselves, then yeah, I could see them putting in back the gum shield to let him go. But it was after a punch landed, and then they were just like, nope, stop. All right, put it back in. But Cody Brennan should end up taking it away. Uh, got a really good finishing sequence, even though he was on top of him in a weird position in that finishing sequence. Yeah, Julian Marquez just sucks, bro. He's got like no other game other than wild strikes, if I'm going to be completely honest. But yeah, anyways, Cody Brennan gets the round 1 KO, TKO win, like I predicted. I predicted it would be a round 1 KO. Because yeah, Julian Marquez sucks. Next, moving up to the main event. I'm so happy. People are going to complain about the eye pokes. They weren't really eye pokes. They were not. I'm sorry. To be completely honest, they were kind of slapping shots. Did they kind of graze his eye? Yes. They kind of grazed it. All right, and in the fast way it was, it could have blurred his vision a little bit. However, if the ref does not step in and do anything or catch it, bro, you have to defend yourself. You can't just run away, which is exactly what Almabayev. He was doing that the whole fight, it seemed like. Round 1, 2, and 3, man. He was running away from Manel Kape. Manel Kape was taking the center of the cage, keeping up amazing pressure. He was faking low, like if he was going to shoot or something, and then would just hit him with the straight 1-2. That would land really well on Almabayev. He complained initially about getting poked in the eye, but he just got punched in the eye. So that's why afterwards, when Manel Kape kind of like hand grazed past his eye, I was like, who cares, bro? Who cares? Like, I don't care about Asu Almabayev. Manel Kape is what's gonna help the division out. We need a big name. Okay, we need someone who's going to sell tickets, bring butts to the seats. And I'm sorry, Asim Almabayev is just not going to do that, okay? Manel Kape is the guy to do that. So I'm rooting for him to win, and I'm super glad he won. There's someone while I was live streaming telling me to stop glazing Manel Kape, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to stop glazing Manel Kape. He is a great flyweight fighter, one of the most entertaining flyweight fighters at flyweight right now. Fuck Moreno and fuck Urseg. Their fight in Mexico is about to be going down in a couple weeks or something like that. That should not be the number 1 contenders fight. This was the number 1 contenders fight. Oh, I got a sneeze coming on. Oh, God, I hate that. Oh, that was annoying. Anyways, Manel Kape. I know he's number 6 versus a number 8, but this was a number 1 contenders fight because he was supposed to fight Royval. He took this fight on short notice, okay? Asu Almabayev had a 17-fight win streak. 17 fights. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone having that long of a win streak, if I'm not mistaken. Like, absolutely crazy to snap this guy's record. And he's a dangerous prospect, too, even though he's been taking guys to decision most of the time. But yeah, overall, other than the 4 decisions in the beginning of the card and the 2 split decisions of Gomez and Esteban Ribovics, the card was pretty good. Decent amount of excitement. I'll give a quick recap as well of the Tank and Roach fight. Tank lost that fight against Roach, in my opinion. I don't understand how he's able to take a knee and it not be called a knockdown. He's blaming the grease in his hair. So you're telling me as a professional boxer that you're allowed to just go like, oh, take a knee. Oh, let me go over to my corner. Let me wipe off my face. He was constantly wiping his face off with this towel. How are you how did this fly past Gervonta Davis as a possibility? Like, of course, if you greased up your hair, it's gonna get into your eyes while you're fighting, bro. Duh. They also put a bunch of Vaseline and stuff on your face, which is technically grease that could also get into your eye. It's like he's acting like this is the first time he's ever dealt with something like that, and it was a little bit annoying because Roach was landing good shots, man. He has snapped Tank's head back a couple times, and the shots Tank landed, they were also they were loud, good shots, but they just Roach took him so well. He didn't show any sort of like wince of pain or anything like that. Had the same stoic face like the whole time during the fight. They both, trash talking each other a little bit. Tank took a knee, man. I don't understand what else they have to do. Like, if you take a knee like that and you go over to your corner and get your face wiped off, it should have counted as a knockdown. And the ref was for a second, and then he was just like, "Oh no, don't do that." And the ref was like, "You know what? You're right. You're paying me. I don't got to do that." Okay, that's the thing with boxing. There's a lot more shenanigans happen during the fight, and it leaves you to question like, "Hey, I know Gervonta Tank is the star and everything like that. He's bringing the numbers. He's bringing the money to this event. Don't want to do anything controversial with him. Want to be on his good side." That's the thing with boxing, more so than UFC, because in UFC there's not anyone other than like McGregor, that's like really company, like really ingrained into the company and stuff like that. With boxing fighters and their promoters, like they're really ingrained into each other. If that makes any sort of sense, like they're just more likely to get special little privileges and stuff like that. And that's what happened with Tank, if I'm gonna be honest. But yeah. Anyways, that was my breakdown for the UFC fight night and the little boxing event that happened tonight as well, Tank versus Roach. And of course, for the WWE, I'll give a quick little recap on that. John Cena turned heel. He ended up winning, but he turned heel. He's joining up with The Rock. Crazy stuff happening this Saturday. Really great night of entertainment, if I'm going to be completely honest. I love having UFC, WWE, and boxing all on the same night at different time periods too. I was able to watch the UFC main event, then go to the WWE main event, and then I was able to go to the boxing main event. Like, really great night of entertainment. So really happy that happened. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And make sure to subscribe, comment, like, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. And you have a great rest of your day.